everyone. Today I will be discussing the benefits of bringing social media into the classroom. At first, I believed this was a crazy idea, but after doing some research, it makes perfect sense. The students are using the social media anyway, so why not turn what could be a potential distraction in the classroom into a learning tool? So, why should we consider implementing social media into the classroom? First, the sheer number of social media accounts in the world show what an impact they have on our lives. There are 3.5 billion active social media users in the world. That is half the world population. Children and teens make up a big percentage of that. 93% of children between the ages of 8 and 11 spend up to 13.5 hours a week online. 99% of teens between 12 and 15 are online 20.5 hours a week. If teachers can get the children to use at least some of that to learn, why shouldn't we try? Some may be resistant to the idea of implementing social networking in schools, but the first steps have already been made. Schools are using systems such as Blackboard and Moodle in order to connect with students online. These systems have been so successful that students are now able to connect with each other and school officials while earning a degree online without ever stepping foot on campus. From there, it is only a small step to bring in social media sites such as Twitter and Facebook into the classroom environment. Teachers have found success in motivating children to learn using social media. One example comes from a biology teacher from Bergen County. He proposed a challenge to students that involved them in having a debate over the subject of meiosis on Twitter using a specific hashtag. This idea made a subject that had the potential to be very boring much more interesting to the students. Also, students had to have a working knowledge of the subject in order to make a valid point in less than 140 characters. This is just one example of how teachers can get creative with social media in the classroom. Implementing social media into the classroom is also very beneficial to the community. Social media gives an outlet for providing school news to the community. Any parent or other member of the community has access to this information at any time. With this access, parents are able to stay in communication with the school and in the know about their child's day-to-day activities. Schools can provide this access by having a Facebook page or a Twitter account to make announcements. Teachers can take that connection to the community one step further by creating a Facebook group for their students and their parents to share day-to-day announcements. A Facebook group of parents and students would be a great way to post events, such as a field trip. There are, of course, some downfalls to bringing social media into the classroom. Social media provides a threat to student safety. If students provide too much personal information online, they could be exposed to predators. They need to be taught to protect themselves. Communicating online gives children a false sense of security. This creates the issue of cyberbullying. Children are much more likely to say something potentially harmful online than they are face-to-face. Students need to learn that social media is a responsibility that should not be taken lightly. They must be mature and not do anything to harm the reputation of themselves or anyone else. The most obvious risk that social media provides to the classroom is the risk of it becoming a distraction. Teachers must make sure that the students are using social media in the right way while in the school environment. The students need to be closely monitored. Children don't understand how much they have come to rely on technology. Their generation was born into it, so they have trouble understanding why someone wouldn't know how to use it. Most teachers learned to teach before technology was present in the classroom. Sometimes they have trouble learning or accepting new technologies or trends. Implementing social networking into the classroom is no different. Many teachers fear the change because it creates a risk to student privacy and safety. With so many students using social media, teachers have to be very careful in their own personal use of social media sites. They must present themselves in a way that models good behaviors and healthy living. They should never message a student directly because the teacher-student relationship should not cross those lines. Even in their personal lives, a teacher needs to remember that they are representing the school. Students respond to social media because it is already a constant in their lives. 70% of students wish that the technology made available to them to study was as efficient and shaped to their needs as their social media feeds. Social media sites have created an outlet for like-minded students to collaborate. Imagine a student trying to come up with a research topic. He or she could Google research topics and scroll through hundreds of topics, or they could turn to their Facebook page, for example. Not only could they find suggestions for a research topic, but they could connect with other students who have done the research and get their perspective. Social networking is likely to keep its hold on students, and more sites are always popping up. How will teachers keep up and learn to use social networking as a tool in the classroom? In the years to come, it is likely that social networking will be integrated into the curriculum. Teachers will instruct students on how to portray a respectable online presence. As I mentioned before, in many instances, the students are more comfortable in the environment than the teachers are. Involving the students in the learning process is beneficial to both sides, as they will learn from each other and try to stay relevant in the practices. A good practice is to lead by example, showing the students how to strengthen their reputation using social networks instead of just lecturing them about the dangers. Students need to understand what it means to put something on the internet. It isn't a temporary thing, and students should know that what they put on there is permanent and they can't take it back. How do we bring social networking into the classroom? The best benefit that social networking provides is communication. The parents and the community have access to school news anytime they need or want it. Classrooms studying the same subjects can connect and even participate in activities together. Creative teachers can come up with different ideas to motivate students to learn using social networking sites. Teachers have already came up with some creative ideas using these sites. For example, teachers sometimes use Facebook and Twitter in history lessons. They instruct the students to create profiles and accounts as historical figures. The students have to have a working knowledge of these figures and be able to impersonate them to make these accounts. Also, Facebook gives teachers other opportunities. Teachers can make private groups where they can communicate with students and their parents about classroom activities and assignments. They can use these groups to post about important events that the parents and students need to know about, or even poll the students about what they have learned or what they want to study next. Used correctly, Facebook could be a very great tool in the classroom. If the teachers understand and work to implement social networking into the classroom, what will the students take away from it? Social networks allow students to connect with other students who are studying the same subjects. Without even realizing it, students develop digital citizenship skills, which they carry over into their personal lives. When teachers model the right ways to present oneself online, students learn to protect their reputation and personal well-being while online. When social networks are used in school projects, students have so much fun participating, they don't even realize how much they are learning and retaining about the topic of the project. Most importantly, teachers have a strong line of connection with the students, parents, and the community. The classroom has already embraced many new technologies in the recent years. Chromebooks and smartboards were once a dream for the typical classroom, but now they are common. We know that technology is only going to grow in the years to come. Even as I speak, advancements are being made. Both new and veteran teachers must keep up with the advancements and adapt accordingly. As students enjoy technology, they respond well to it in the classroom environment. Social networking is a relatively new idea in the classroom, but its exposure to the students in school teaches them to act responsibly online. This is an important skill to learn in their personal lives. Although change can be very scary and overwhelming, teachers benefit from bringing different technologies into the classroom. It is the responsibility of every teacher to create the best learning environment that they can, and that includes learning to use any new technologies that would benefit the student. Social networking may not be a new technology, but bringing it into the classroom is a new trend that could have success in the years to come.